I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh.
Hello, everyone. Please go buy a VHS Doom t-shirt. That way Mikey can get a microphone.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Raw potatoes.
You look like a raw potato.
Probably. I'm going to shave my head tomorrow. So.
Okay, so it says that you are 0% uploaded.
Yeah, because I took my mic out and put it back in. It's saying 99% now.
Yep, I see it now. All right, good. That's good. That's a good sign. If that's not showing, then we got problems.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Cool.
So
well,
let's get started.
I guess so. Yeah. Shit. How's your day going, man?
It's going. I mean, we were playing outside for a while, and then he just went down for his nap like an hour ago.
Oh, okay. Cool. Gotcha. Oh, shit. Hey, there's a customer. Hey, guys. How are you? Sorry, didn't see you there. Welcome back to the VHS Doom podcast and rental store. Hope you're having a good week. Yeah, we're having a bit of technical issues here and there that we're overcoming. Maybe not recording this for a second time. Who knows?
Mainly Mikey's cell phone crapped out last time.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. But just I was saying before, go buy a t-shirt and all proceeds go to Mikey getting a microphone.
They're
if you
really
guys
cool
like the
ones.
show.
We designed them.
Yeah, they're pretty cool staff shirts.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So cool. So you've had a pretty good week then?
Yeah, everything's good so far. I watched a couple movies.
Oh yeah, what'd you watch?
I watched 2008 Gutterballs from Ryan Nicholson. You've seen it. I showed you this one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. So it's like I Spit on Your Grave meets a ridiculous slasher.
Okay.
Like the first part, it's all really low budget. And it's really Canadian. You can probably tell.
It's really Canadian.
It kind of sounds like Trailer Park Boys the way they talk to each other.
A lot of A's.
Lot of like slurs and stuff, and like things happen. When, the main character, she gets essayed or sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And then someone starts killing off her friends and the guy who did it's friends in the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And some of the most ridiculous kills I've ever seen. Like the first kill in the movie is these two this couple is not a couple, like this woman and a dude are having oral sex in the bathroom. They're 69ing, and the killer puts his hands down on her butt, her head, so like they're both suffocating.
Jeez Louise.
Another one was when they put the guy's head in the pin waxing machine.
Oh yeah. I think I remember this one because it was in the beginning is when she's assaulted,
and it's like really
isn't
graphic.
It's by a group of guys.
Yeah.
It's like a gang.
Just like
gang
I Spit
assault.
on Your Grave.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
Where they have the weakest guy try to do it, and like they're forcing him to do it.
Yeah, I think that I have seen an episode of Criminal Minds, maybe, or what am I thinking of? Maybe it was CSI. I don't know. I feel like I feel like I watched something like from the 2000s where they used this exact same premise kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it was? It was Supernatural. So Carla really loves Supernatural, and I don't hate it. I'm not going to shit on that show.
It's an okay show. I just don't really watch it.
It's just really long, and there's a lot of like redundancy.
I think
personally,
Buffy is better personally.
Yeah, whatever. To each their own on those like TBS / like USA shows or whatever. But in Supernatural, there was a ghost of a girl who came back after the same scenario, like she was raped in a pool hall on a pool table kind of thing. Yeah. And she was killing people like one by one, which is actually kind of a cool episode.
So the budget of Gutterballs was $250,000.
Oh, that's a pretty good budget for Ryan Nicholson, right?
Yeah. I also
I mean,
watched.
he did a lot with it.
I watched his other movie. Hold on, let me just look at my notes.
Sure. I'm really proud of my name this week.
I didn't even see it yet. I just wanted to try to get to do this before something bad happens.
Sure. Well, Mikey this week is walrus penis, so that's an interesting one.
Okay, so it is 2011's Famine, also from Ryan Nicholson. Okay, so it's also known as Stupid Teens Must Die and Detention Night. So at Sloppy Secondary High School, a funny ass name, they have a 24-hour like volunteer thing where they all just like fast in the gym. And then like the first famine, there was an incident where a teacher accidentally gets acid poured on him and he's like disfigured.
Okay.
Because he's trying to have sex with
acid kill.
Yeah, no, like it's an acid kill, but like what it leads up to is like he's like a creepy teacher trying to like get with the kid.
Yuck. Okay.
And his name is Philip Balzac.
The actor or the teacher?
The teacher.
Philip Balzac. Okay.
Oh, man.
I feel like throwing acid on someone who is like, a pedophile or, playing a pedophile in a movie, I root for the person throwing the acid. But then on the flip side of that coin, in like Terrifier 2, when Art pours bleach all over this poor
And throw salt
kid
too.
and salt, that did not make me feel happy. Anyway. Okay, cool. So is that what you watched this week?
Yeah, those
then?
two
Do you have any-
slashers. Scream 6. We started talking about it in the last episode when we were recording it, and then like everything went to shit.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. It picks up right after 5. Jenna Ortega and the one who I forgot her name. Hold on, let me bring it up. Sorry, her sister. His name is Sam. And the actress is Melissa Baraya. Yeah.
Okay.
So it starts off with this woman's waiting on a date. She's a film teacher, and it's funny because she's teaching a thing on slasher movies right now. So she's played by Samara Weaving. She gets tricked into going into an alley, and somebody in a Ghostface costume kills her. And then right after that, the guy who killed her and his friend were planning to do these the Scream murders again.
Yeah.
But they were killed by Ghostface.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
And Jenny Ortega's sister, the one who plays Sam, is pretty much slandered as the killer.
I see. Okay.
And Hayden Panettiere plays an FBI agent.
Oh, is that what she does? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. But she's the same character.
Yeah,
from...
she still plays Kirby Reed.
Okay, cool. All right,
And the cool thing is they brought back Tara's friends, Jenny Ortega's friends from the last movie. So like the horror nerds there.
Okay.
And then a few of her brothers there and a few other people there still.
Okay.
It's
Nice,
good.
yeah.
I think I like it. Some of the kills are good. I felt bad.
Yeah.
I felt bad when Courtney Cox died in the movie.
You can't give away spoilers like that.
Well, it's bound to happen because what's his name? David Arquette's character died in the last one.
Right.
He was brutally gutted, like knife in both sides and just pulled up.
Oh, jeez Louise. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, that's cool, man. You know what? I'm kind of glad we have to record again because I actually watched a movie yesterday, so I could talk about
That's what happened with me.
Yeah.
After it happened, I told you I was going to watch like a Ryan Nicholson movie. I ended up just like I pulled the ones I have on Blu-ray, and I was just like figuring which ones to watch. And
you sent me a picture. You have quite a few.
I have most of them that are on Blu-ray. They're Unearthed Films is going to be putting out Gutterballs 2 soon.
Yeah.
And I think they still have to put out Collar. Collar is even more fucked up.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I actually sorry. Goddamn soda pops. Anyway, water?
I had an energy drink this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, it's probably good to follow up with some water. But
yeah,
anyway,
course.
I actually So I was going through this 80s horror film list, and there was one that was the best movie you've never heard of, and it's actually I don't know if you've watched it or not, but it's called Eating Raoul. Have you watched Eating Raoul?
I have heard of it. I know it's Criterion put it out in Blu-ray. I've never seen it though. I've always seen it when I'm shopping for different titles from Criterion. It's
worth a watch, man. So it's not
it's like
horror.
A black comedy, right?
It's a black comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean it's funny. So it's directed by Paul Bartel, who actually played the main character Paul Bland. And it stars Mary Woronov as Mary Bland and Robert Beltran in his very first role as Raul Mendoza. And actually, just like a side note, he was a very minimal character, but Ed Begley, he played a hippie in that movie. He was really young. Ed Begley's gone on to be a supporting actor in a million movies, and you would know his face you know who I'm talking about, right?
What's his name?
Ed Begley.
Let me see.
He's kind of like a tall, skinny, blonde dude that's been in every movie.
Ed Begley Jr. Oh, yeah, I've seen him.
Right, yeah. So he's everybody would recognize his
face. He's always a father or a doctor.
Right, father, doctor, standard general white guy.
Yeah.
But in this one, he actually played a hippie who was actually a rapist as well. So it was a really wild twist. But highly recommend this movie, man. Yeah, it's not horror or slasher like you would usually watch or I would usually watch. But
I watch everything. So I what's it called? I just focus on horror most of the time, but I watch everything.
Right, and from the title, I was a little confused because I thought it was going to be a little more, just based on the recommendations I usually get, I thought it was going to be something more cannibalistic.
Yeah.
But it is mildly cannibalistic.
Mildly.
So, yeah, if you ever get a chance to stop...
If you were a critic, you'd be putting out, it's only mildly cannibalistic.
Right, mildly. And it really shines a spotlight on the life of swingers in Hollywood in the 1980s. But
there was a stage musical in 1992.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because I've only seen the cover of it. I've never watched it.
Dude, totally worth a watch. It's a lot of fun.
Where did you see it?
I actually saw it on a list online. I don't remember where, but I found it on YouTube because it's on Prime if you want to rent it, and I didn't because I'm cheap. And it's on HBO Max if you have that, but I don't. Max, okay. So you can go watch it there. But yeah, it's really solid and it's really funny and quippy. It's a really. Too. Yeah, it's a really funny movie as well. But if you ever get a chance to stop by Paul and Mary's Country Kitchen, don't eat there.
You know what?
That's all I'm going to say.
Could you pair this? Do you think you could pair this up with Motel Hell?
I don't know.
That's kind
I don't
of
think
a
so.
horror comedy, like in a
it is
bed and breakfast kind of thing.
Yeah, it is, but it's not a. It's not. It's definitely not in the same vein of comedy.
Okay.
As Eating Raoul is. But I mean, maybe if you want to a brain cleanser or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something way more intense, and then something very light and funny. But you know what? It does deal with themes of assault consistently throughout the movie. So if that's something that triggers you, just an FYI on that, there's the consistent theme of assault throughout that movie. So anyway, yeah, a lot of fun, and I'm glad I actually had time to watch something prior to us talking again. So anyway, yeah, so sorry to ignore you, customers. Mikey and I like talking, and we love you too, though. So thanks for coming back. Thanks for did they rewind everything, Mikey? Does it look like everything's here?
There was a broken VHS tape.
Broken?
It was bitten in the middle.
Somebody bit a chunk out of it?
Yeah, I was kind of scared. They ate it like a candy bar.
Did Scabby Man go home with you, customers?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, he did? Yeah, he. This guy's saying that Scabby went home with them.
Was it Frank?
Frank?
Yeah.
Frank Janus? Hugh Janus's brother?
Frank Footer.
Oh, speaking of that, I almost forgot. One note I wrote down about Eating Raoul, it was put out by Janus Films or Janus
Janus,
Pictures. Yeah,
That's,
Janus.
I
It
think
made
that's-
me
I think
laugh
that's
out loud.
The one who Criterion mostly puts out those movies, or maybe
Yeah.
no. I think that's the same company actually.
Oh, is it?
It might be.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just thinking of Hugh
me see.
Janus, so it made me laugh.
It spells the same way, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he has the same, but he goes by Janus, where I guess that's Janus. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, no, yeah, this guy, Fred. Are you Fred? Yeah, he's Fred.
For Janus.
Yeah, Fred Anus. I mean Janus. Do you see my name yet?
No.
Ah, you can't see it? Instead of Art the Clown?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So this week, I am Fart the Brown. Dad jokes galore. Sorry. Anyway, I felt clever. But yeah, speaking of Art the Clown, so we're really glad that you guys came back this week, because this week we are doing something a little bit different. Typically on our normal episodes, we cover single movies or double features. We've covered some directors in the past, or a director, right? Have we only done one director episode?
We've only done Romero.
Right? Only Romero.
The next idea was somebody related to him. Well, not related, like related, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so most of our episodes, we just talk about single movies or double features.
I do have a fact about Janus Films. They have a close business relationship with Criterion. It's not the same company.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Sorry. Cool. Maybe I'll put that back in that section there.
That's a good thing about me having my laptop here.
Yeah, there you go. You get your notes today. The last time we tried to record every time Mikey would open his notes or any information outside of the app, his phone would crash and we wouldn't get that recording anymore. So.
And it would scarily overheat in my hand.
Oh, God, that's terrifying, because if your phone explodes, you're in trouble. So anyway, we're really glad you're here. So typically our normal episodes, we cover single movies, we cover double features. We've covered a director, but this one is going to be like a franchise, and specifically it revolves around Art the Clown, right? So the character of Art the Clown and the Terrifier franchise in general.
I think this is our first character episode.
We could probably call it that. So we're going to go through quite a bit of detail on Art and his history as a character. We're also going to talk a lot about Damien Leone and his background, where he came up through. So it's a franchise and character overview. But the reason that we're doing this episode is because Terrifier 3 has been announced. And it's been announced that it's going to be available for streaming when it comes out on Screambox.
Which is a really great app for horror.
Yeah, so since we heard that announcement, we decided we'd go ahead and get our episode in, and I actually did first-time watches of All Hallows Eve, Terrifier 1, and Terrifier 2, all within the span of 2 to 3 days. So, just essentially like fried my brain with gore. So super exciting. And what's that?
Especially 2.
Oh, especially 2. Yeah, just blood on blood on blood. It is. 2 is like 2 hours of just intensity. So, so really excited to talk about all this today. So yeah, I guess it's not going to be a normal like, hey, hit play, let's watch this movie. But you know what? We're going to hit play anyway. We're going to hit play on a deep dive documentary style episode of the Terrifier franchise, and specifically Art the Clown. Step up. Come on, step up here. Hit play. Press play, motherfucker.
So, did you figure out what you're dressing up as tomorrow?
He wants to dress up as a real guy who murdered 9 people last year.
Oh, you're not doing that.
It's just a costume.
You think that guy's still out there?
What's up with you and this clown all of a sudden? You're like obsessed.
They never found his body. What if he decides to come back here?
I wouldn't worry about it.
Wait a minute, aren't you that guy from the costume shop?
Sir, what are you doing?
It wasn't me.
He was covered in blood on his shirt and his hands when he got here.
I'm telling you, it was him, Ellie. Right down to the little black dot on the tip of his nose.
You're really weird, you know that?
I believe him.
About what? Something really bad's gonna happen tonight.
No, I know when Jonathan's lying, okay? I could hear it in his voice. Something's wrong.
Look, we're gonna have fun. Stress-free environment.
Yep.
Speaking of surprises, kids, we have a very special guest with us today, all the way from Miles County. Please welcome Art the Clown.
Alrighty. So let's start out talking a little bit about the man who created the franchise and created Art the Clown, one Mr. Damien Leone. So Damien doesn't have a massive biography online that's easy to find. He's done a lot of interviews with entertainment sources, Dread Central. I pulled an article from slashfilm.com that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But I had to kind of dig in to find his background. So this is actually from LinkedIn. I found him on LinkedIn. He only has 300-ish connections on LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn, go request him, and he'll be like, why are people requesting me on my LinkedIn?
I feel like I have one. I just don't even know how to log in.
Right, yeah. I mean, I have one, and that's the only reason I found him is because I was searching about Damien Leone. And so LinkedIn told me that Damien Leone is from Staten Island, New York, and he attended the New School. The New Jersey, New York. That's the truth. It really is. Anyway, so he attended the New School in New York City from 2002 to 2003, and I guess that's where he learned his craft, outside of him practicing himself. So the New School is actually like a group of schools. It's comprised of 7 campuses, which include Parsons School of Design, the Eugene Lang College of Liberal Arts, the College of Performing Arts, the New School for Research, Schools of Public Engagement, Parsons Paris, and continuing and professional education schools. So I'm assuming that he attended Parsons School of Design, but I don't know that for sure because he graduated from the quote-unquote New School. According to LinkedIn, his very first project that he ever worked on was the movie Love in 2005. Where he did the makeup and EFX. That movie, which I Googled, seems to be a story about a mercenary from Eastern Europe who comes to New York or America and blah, 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 blah. So it's a kind of a thriller action. So that was his first job, at least listed on LinkedIn. His second listed project was actually his short film of The Ninth Circle, which is featured in All Hallows Eve that we'll talk about a little bit later. And then after that, his third listed project is the Terrifier short film. The Terrifier short film did end up winning quite a few awards for special effects from quite a lot of film festivals.
It was creepy.
Yeah, and the Ninth Circle did win quite a few awards as well, maybe a couple awards, but not as many as Terrifier short.
I think I liked the Ninth Circle was the one where with the devil.
Correct. Yeah, that was his.
I like that one a lot.
I think we'll talk about this a little later from quotes from him, but the Ninth Circle, he kind of threw all of his skills at it, like everything that he had learned about special effects.
Yeah, the devil in it was amazing.
Yeah. Very good makeup. And most of those, like the witch and the faceless demon and the cone face demon, and even, oh my God, dude, honestly, the big scary melty man that's pulling them by their chains.
Yeah.
That was sick too. That's trauma level cool, effects.
Dripping and gross kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Dripping, gross, toxic, kind of whatever.
Slimy.
Slimy, that's the word. Yeah, so I like that a lot. But, so a couple other, these quotes or like these interview notes I pulled from his IMDb page, like the About Me section. So from Damien himself, he says that he became a fan of horror because his mother, who was also a huge fan of horror, introduced him to the genre at a young age. Apparently, she even named him Damien after the character from The Omen in 1976.
Can I just say, as a giant Omen fan, that's fucking awesome?
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Right? My parents named me Dylan after Bob Dylan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They did, yeah. I mean, not nearly as cool, but I'll take it, I guess. Did your parents name you, Mike after Mike Cockring?
Wow, no. No, but in Jewish tradition, we usually name someone after like the first letter of the name of somebody who died recently.
Oh,
and
damn, I feel like an asshole.
No, it's fine. I'm named after my grandpa, Marty.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that, actually. I like that a lot. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool to know, man. Yeah, so some other things that he said that were featured on his IMDb. Despite the extreme amounts of blood and gore in his movies, he has admitted that he cannot stand the sight of real blood, and he'll be the first one to faint when medical programs are broadcast. So,
I don't have that problem.
yeah, that's interesting. I get that, though. I feel like I gravitate towards making things that make me squeamish, like in a real life scenario. So, like, things with like hands bother me a lot.
Oh yeah, that bothers me. But like, if it's happening to somebody else, it doesn't like. Do you know what I mean?
I can't deal with someone else having that happen to them, but
Yeah.
I can deal with my own injuries and like figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, that's why like when we made the prosthetic hands and I made the scenes where like the hands were drilled into with the screws, it's because that really bothers me. Yeah.
The part with the knife when you're like cutting at the finger.
Yep. Yeah, that's really gross. So I make stuff like that. So I get where he's coming from. If it really grosses you out in real life, go for it. Make it. I wonder if he's ever watched Faces of Death.
He probably has.
Right.
I mean, he's a giant horror fan, so I'm guessing like.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wonder if those kind of movies bother him more than like Cannibal Holocaust or something.
Somebody should ask him on Twitter, but don't tag us.
No, do tag us. We should ask him. Hey, you run our Twitter. Why don't you go ask him?
No, I'm okay.
After we put this episode out,
hey,
you
what
go
do you
ask him and say, what do you think of this? Because you don't really have a good... Yeah, no, not right now. After we put the episode out, be like, hey, you don't have a very good biography online, buddy, but we did our best. What do you think?
I'll just be like, hey,
anyway.
Do you like this?
Right. Do you like it? Okay. So the next note from IMDb, the last one that I found was actually Damien has defended himself against allegations that his movies are misogynistic, stating that he was raised by women who also loved the horror genre, as we stated before, and that he wants his audience to root for his female protagonists. However, he does suspect that viewers have a subconscious tendency to be on the bad guy's side. I think that that's true to an extent when you create a franchise. Like one thing we'll talk about a little bit later is I feel like Art the Clown's development really went from almost to an endearing place in some circumstances. So it might be easy to root for a villain against a protagonist, but I think that Leone did a really good job of developing Sienna to have a character that you also root for, who's on the quote unquote good side. So that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, that's what he has quoted there on his IMDb.
I don't know. I don't think it's misogynistic because I think he's just killing everybody.
That is very true.
Because
Art spares no one.
In All Hallows Eve, I don't really want to ruin it, but like he decapitates and like brutally murders 2 children.
Right. He has zero fucks given about who you are. It's more about
if he finds it funny.
I think you're right. He finds it funny. I think he enjoys fucking with other people through murders of he in Terrifier 1 when he straps down I don't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but he straps down the girl who like was fighting him to watch him saw her friend in half. So I think he was more interested in the reaction, the way he kept looking
that's
back.
what he's trying to do. He's trying to get revenge.
He's more interested in the reaction than in the kill itself.
Okay, so her character's name is Tara.
Tara. Okay, yeah. So when he strapped Tara down to the seat and made her watch Dawn, I remember Dawn.
Yeah,
poor
Dawn
Dawn.
Sissy is her name.
Yeah. When he saws Dawn in half, upside down, he's more interested in the reaction of Tara than he is in the
face
pain
part
of Dawn.
bothered me, like when it went all the way through her face.
Oh my God! Honestly, that bothered me less because then when it was in her like midsection, so they cut to that shot from behind, like where he's like kind of like down to her butt.
Yeah,
that made me like want to die. I don't know why, I don't know why, but that got me more than the face for some reason. I think at that point they did a cut shot where they showed her face and blood was dripping on her live face, not like her prosthetic face. So I was like, oh God.
I thought the hacksaw through the face was the part that was like bothered me so much.
Oh my, yeah.
Kind of like
in
the second one when it opens where he's like killing that guy with the hammer, the medical examiner.
Oh yeah.
And like he hits him like so hard, and like then he like puts his fingers in the holes, and, like tears it apart like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Oh yeah, you were saying what if they got Art into Mortal Kombat?
Like,
wouldn't that be wild?
I've said this before. I've tagged Damien and I've tagged Ed Boon and NetherRealm Studios. I'm like, Art should be in the game.
Right, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, anywy, I feel bad that I didn't remember Tara's name off the bat there, but
notes.
I do.
Thankfully, I can finally read.
There you go. I do want to call out, kudos to Jenna Cannell. That's the actress's name. Jenna has been in. She was in Renfield. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, guess what? It's on Peacock.
Oh yeah, you texted me that the other day.
Yeah,
I gotta watch it.
I saw on Twitter early, it was like towards the end of the day yesterday that it was on there, and I was like, oh shit.
Nice. Yeah. So, kudos to her for continuing to, get some cool roles. But, so shout out to Jenna Cannell, who played Tara Hayes, and unfortunately was forced to watch her friend Dawn, played by Catherine Corcoran, get sawed in half upside down. God almighty, Art. God almighty. All right.
Name of it, it's Stewie.
Yes.
And it's,
no, it's not. It's,
I have it on my phone.
No. It's Quagmire dressed up as Art.
That makes sense. It's Quagmire. And he's like,
right, and Meg upside down. Yep. Gotta love it. Was that an officially sanctioned image put out by actual Family Guy production?
It looks like it's a fan one. It looks like it's supposed to be like a Fangoria magazine, but it says Cock Punch on it. Or wait, no.
Cock Punch.
Kick Punch.
Kick Punch.
And it shows his. Okay, I'll send it to you right now.
Kick Punch. So not Cock Punch. Cock Punch sounds much more aggressive than Kick Punch.
Check your phone.
I ain't got shit, Jack. Oh wait, there it is. Terrifier. Yep, bro.
It's like an old Marvel comic.
It does look like Cock Punch.
Yeah, I opened it and I'm like looking at my phone. I had to like squint for a second.
Either Cock Punch or like Dick Punch, but it's Kick. It's Kick Punch. Dick Punch, the magazine.
And it looks like a Marvel comic book with like the little side thing.
Yeah, right. For real. Holy shit.
I wish there were Terrifier comics. That'd be awesome.
Poor Meg. Oh my God. You know what? Comic I was I'm probably embarrassed to admit that I've read, but Crossed. Have you read Crossed?
No.
Crossed is a brutal. It's kind of like that movie that I talked to you about the other day, asking if you'd watched. I haven't watched it, but it's like an Asian. I think it's Korean. Let me pull it up. The Sadness. So The Sadness takes on the same story of this comic of Crossed. So essentially in Crossed, what happens is it's almost like a zombie infection. But rather than, being like brain dead monsters, it brings out the worst tendencies, like worst violent, sadistic thoughts in everybody that's infected.
It's like Dead World.
Yeah. So essentially, like, the most depraved things happen. And there's definitely a crossed comic where a woman gets sawed in half, just like Art saws someone in half. So
have you ever read the Gore Shriek comic books?
I have not, no.
Oh, they're very gory. They're really good. They're from like the 90s.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, no, actually 80s. They brought them back recently. I haven't read them. I have the first copy of it from 86.
Okay. Yeah, I want to check out The Sadness. That looks like a good one.
Shout outs to Remy. He's been telling me about it for years. I want to see it.
Oh, the movie The Sadness?
Yeah.
He's been telling you about that?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
He also did you end up watching that other one, the Project Wolf Hunting?
No, I didn't.
You got it. I think it's on Screenbox. It's like one of the goriest movies I've ever seen.
Is it?
It's like someone explained it as Predator meets Con Air.
Oh God. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it looks like The Sadness is on Shudder.
I have Shudder. Okay.
Anyway, so let's get back to we got a little off track there, but let's get back to the Terrifier. And Damien specifically. So Damien Leone, from his Wikipedia career page, this was where I pulled the next set of notes from. In 2016, Terrifier was released. Among other credits, Leone wrote and directed the film, which eventually became a cult film, and for which he was nominated a Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Best Makeup Effects. In 2022, Leone returned for the sequel of Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 was received favorably by critics and was a hit at the box office, grossing more than $15 million on a $250,000 budget. Congratulations. And with those kind of numbers, it's no wonder that Terrifier 3 is in the works. And then Leone was again nominated for a Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Best Makeup Effects for his work on Terrifier 2, which he did win. And then it was later announced that Leone was working on Terrifier 3, as we stated, and the upcoming film Stream. So I pulled up the article, Wikipedia article at least, on Stream. So Stream, I mean, to me, it was kind of exciting just based on the names of who it's starring. So it's going to be directed and co-written and co-produced by Michael Levy, and it stars Jeffrey Combs, Danielle Harris, Dee Wallace, Tim Reed, Mark Holton, Felissa Rose, Tony Todd, very cool,
Felissa
Daniel
Rose
Roebuck.
is in Terrifier 2.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So Tony Todd as well, which is cool to see. Daniel Roebuck, Dave Sheridan, and Terry Alexander. And then it also has David Howard Thornton in this as well. So I don't know who he's playing, but it looks like, for like the quick synopsis, when Roy and Elaine Keenan realize their family is drifting apart, they decide that something needs to be done. Roy forces his work to take a back seat, and they seize the opportunity to recreate a vacation from their past. A peaceful stay in a quaint hotel is just what they need. However, that is not what's in store for them. With 4 deranged murderers patrolling the seemingly mundane halls, the odds are definitely not in the Keenan family's favor. Roy must fight for his life and those of his family, as their simple weekend getaway truly turns into a vacation to die for. So that's pretty cool. It looks like Jeffrey Combs is playing someone named Mr. Lockwood.
The cast is amazing.
Yeah, it looks like Tony Todd is unlisted as what character he's
one of the
playing.
nicest guys I've ever met.
Yeah, very nice guy, very cool guy. David Howard Thornton is playing someone named Player 2. Oh, that might be kind of a spoiler. I wonder if it has some sort of like gamification.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, it's called Stream.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we won't dive in too far because I don't want to even spoil anything for myself.
And
so
it looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like a video game cover.
It does, right? Yeah, the like glitched mask or whatever.
Yeah, the glitched mask, the writing kind of looks like EA Games is like kind of stuff.
Right? Yeah, for sure. So anyway, yeah, that's that project is being produced by Damien Leone. So I thought it was worth talking about.
Looks like Danielle Harris actually has like a main character role.
She is. She's the wife, I believe.
Oh, Danielle Harris is awesome. I always had a crush on her.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So, all right, well, let's move on. So, what I want to talk about now, is going to be the notes on the creation of Art the Clown, because there is no Terrifier without Art the Clown. Art the Crown, Fart the Brown. Art the Clown is the Terrifier. So let's talk about him. Let's get in depth on some Art. So what I did for this section, I found a really good article from a January 2023 article. Article. What I did is I found a really good set of notes from a January 2023 /film.com article where they kind of talk about the history of Art the Clown. So we're gonna read some notes from this. Mikey and I will kind of jump in with our thoughts on different parts. I have each movie pulled up with its Wikipedia page, so we might jump into the specific movies. So yeah, we're just going to take some time and really, really talk about Art here. So
get this episode done in a good way.
Yeah, man, for sure. And we're both 99% uploaded.
Yeah,
buddy.
I see that.
Hell yeah, walrus penis. Let's go.
Fart the Brown.
All right. So prior to becoming a box office draw, Art made his debut appearance in director Damien Leone's short films, with the first being The Ninth Circle. Leone told Entertainment Weekly that his idea for Art stemmed from a nightmarish idea he had over a decade ago. So, quote, "I had this idea of a clown terrorizing a woman on a city bus. She's all alone, coming home from work or whatever in the middle of the night. And then this clown gets on and sits across from her and starts staring at her and toying with her. It's awkward and uncomfortable and maybe even funny, but then it gets progressively more intimidating and aggressive." So what separates the short film from everything else that this character would be further associated with, however, is that once Art injects her with a syringe in the empty train station, he disappears entirely. From there, Leone takes a dive into an atmospheric realm of monsters that hardly captures the same level of simple unease. So that is true. So Art is absolutely portrayed as an agent of the, essentially devil or demon that we meet later in the Ninth Circle. So he just shows up. He's got a much smaller bag. His makeup is much less developed. His, jaunt face kind of prosthetic deal is much less developed.
We were talking about before we got destroyed yesterday.
Yeah, different kind of nose. It's not like as crooked. It's more of like a wider, normal looking nose. So yeah, his role in this really is just to deliver her to the underworld, right? But one of the cool, notes that we'll recap later, but that I noticed, this is the first time that Damien used the glowing eyes effect for Art, and then we don't see that effect again until Terrifier 2, where both the little girl, who is undead or a ghost or whatever, has glowing eyes, and then
I
at
feel
the
like they
very
hinted she was like a victim of his.
Oh, they did. Yeah, she absolutely was a victim of his. And then in the end, Vicky Hayes, who was also a victim but an alive victim, also had the glowing eye. So you kind of got to wonder if Leone's leading up to announcing that, obviously Art was brought back to life by someone, and obviously someone has possessed these two characters.
But somebody also brought back Sienna, too.
Exactly, right. So there's the flip side of the coin there for Sienna, right? But anyway, so yeah, we see Art as an agent in this short film. This article states that Art was merely an idea among many, as Leone largely wanted to use the Ninth Circle as a means of showing off his makeup effects and seeing what worked. And this is a quote via Dread Central article. "I threw in everything, clowns, witches, demons, monsters, everything up against the wall, hoping something would stick." Okay, so the subsequent Terrifier films have always hinted at Art's supernatural abilities, but have never confirmed what kind of monster he is. It's easy to see why the character stuck out, prompting Leone to give the pantomime slasher another round of terror with his next short. Where the Ninth Circle was a warm-up round, 2011's Terrifier was an art showcase all the way through. In the span of 20 minutes, we follow an unlucky woman through a terrifying cat and mouse chase with the demonic clown. There's an evolution of Art's makeup here, too, adding more detail to his face. So they add, the eyebrows in kind of like little semicircles, and then they add a dot to the end of his nose and a little more definition to his cheeks. But they still don't have like David Howard Thornton's like crooked nose prosthetic that they use later. So he's still in his evolution phase here. So the Terrifier short developed Art's psychopathic mannerisms. The Fiend has a particularly disgusting habit of rubbing his feces all over bathrooms.
That gets me every time you say it.
Rubbing his feces all over bathrooms. The person who usually finds...
I would quit and just leave, so he wouldn't be able to kill me.
No, I would make you go clean up.
No.
I'd be like, sorry, bud.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, I quit, I'm out.
We'll flip a coin for that one.
You can hire somebody else to clean up the shit from the walls.
Yeah, sorry. Well, it's like the character from Terrifier 1, like the pizza cook guy. He's like, you're going to pay me overtime for this.
He gets brutally murdered too, Jesus.
Yeah, poor guy. Anyway, but the person who usually finds the obscene mess ends up dead. And alas, the poor gas station attendant from Terrifier, the short film, happens to be on the clown's hit list that night. The Ninth Circle may have featured Art's signature trash bag and penchant for annoying people, but Terrifier is where these elements are given a purpose. Art is the star. The short is a frequently tense fever dream that feels like something you hallucinated while watching television at 3 a.m.
100%.
Its extremely gory violence was only an indicator of what would follow, with Terrifier 2 being the most brutal out of the entire series, notably with its gratuitous and shocking final image. So just some notes on... Well, let's see here. Hold on.
I will say one thing. Dawn in Terrifier was annoying to him first.
Yes.
And she was like assaulting him and like sitting on him and shit.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you look at... she quickly looks through her phone. She's looking at the pictures in her phone. And he obviously looked forward really quick, like while she was taking a selfie, even though you didn't notice that when they were in the pizza place. And then after he saws her in half, he takes a selfie with her just the same way she did with him. So I think she got him.
I feel like if they didn't bother Art, he would have let them live.
No, I don't think so. I think he was interested in Tara.
Yeah, maybe just Tara then.
Yeah, I think he found Tara to be interesting, and I think that was cause for him to go after them one way or another. It just might have been less of a gruesome murder for Dawn if she hadn't annoyed him. Who knows? But yeah, so anyway, Leone had one more step between, however, before Art could become a horror hit. So mind you, Terrifier, the short film, happened before the Ninth Circle, where everything was put together with the short films, and before Terrifier, the feature-length film. So in a 2018 interview with Dread Central, Leone talked about how the Terrifier short was rejected by film festivals of all kinds, even horror, so he ultimately posted it to YouTube, where it racked up over 120,000 views. Now, Mikey, you said you saw it, right, on YouTube?
Yeah. I forgot about it for a while, but then I saw it, I think, probably recently or something, and I remembered it, yeah.
Yeah, so those kind of numbers attracted the attention of Jesse Baggett, who's the producer of what would become the 2013 anthology. Goddamn sodas. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Jesse Baggett was the producer of what would become the 2013 anthology horror flick All Hallows Eve. So Jesse was looking for Halloween-based shorts on YouTube, and he was just going to make an anthology based on the shorts that he found. But it said here, okay, so he wanted to go from the Terrifier short to the Terrifier feature, but this opportunity that was presented to Leone at the time was very exciting, so he decided to jump on board there. So Jesse Baggett presented Damien Leone with the opportunity to make All Hallows Eve, including Art the Clown. So rather than just going straight to Terrifier full, feature-length film, he decided to do this All Hallows Eve, which was a good choice because it not only, I think personally, not only created a scenario where Art could be portrayed throughout 3 different types of films, which is a great way to get him ingrained in people's minds. But it was kind of like a soft launch for the franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was pretty popular though when it came. I remember like seeing online and in magazines, like, ads for it. I never saw it, and now it's funny that I've already seen like the original short from it.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, so I think that it was a good decision on Leone's part to go with this because it gave him the opportunity to direct essentially 3 films, all where art is kind of like woven throughout. And then technically almost a 4th film considering the ending where it's no longer about the short films, it's about what's happening in real time. Yeah, so I mean 4 films in one, talk about practice, for your character. So that's great. Okay, so All Hallows Eve, and again, this is from the article that I'm reading. So All Hallows Eve repackages the Ninth Circle and Terrifier along with, and this is their quote, a tedious and silly middle segment about a woman being stalked by an alien presence in her own home. The wraparound... That alien face was cool as shit.
It was. It just like the whole other parts of it didn't make sense.
No, it really didn't. But you know what? Dude, I have a fan theory. I'm gonna save till the end, but I have a fan theory about this alien story that I think could be a contender for reality.
You told me about it the other day. I believe you. I think it's real.
Yeah, I think it could be. And if not, Damien, I hope you listen to this and you hear my fan theory and you're like, okay, we're going to change the whole story and make it this. But whatever. Anyway, so yes, the wraparound story of All Hallows Eve sees a babysitter watching an unmarked VHS with the children she's watching. Art intermittently shows up between the segments, making it clear that he exists beyond the world of the tape and that something bad is going to happen once the tape is finished. So just a quick note on the cast of All Hallows Eve. So Katie McGuire, who's also a director herself, I'm not sure what film she's directed, but it is listed in her credits. Yeah, she played the babysitter Sarah in All Hallows Eve, but that she also played the newscaster Monica Brown, like the interviewer,
Terrifier 1, yeah,
right? Who then
gets disfigured herself.
Right, then Victoria ends up disfiguring. Now, it was said specifically in Terrifier 2 that Monica Brown, played by Katie McGuire, was not dead, that she was just disfigured by Vicky's character. So we may see her yet again. But yeah, I just thought that was neat, I guess. Okay, so going back. Okay. Oh, this article specifically says in the next line after the babysitter, boy, is she in for a particularly nasty surprise. Fuck.
Okay, Dylan, what's behind
That's
you?
the truth. Huh?
What's behind you?
Is that Art?
Yeah.
Did I just get stabbed?
He cut your stomach and pulled your entrails out. He's trying to hang you by it.
Oh, dude. Let me...
I'm just gonna let this happen. I'm gonna leave. Bye.
I'm just gonna... No. Come back. I'm just gonna hold in. I'm gonna hold him in until we're done. Huh?
I left. The door closed.
I can still hear you, motherfucker. Get back to work.
I'm in the walls. Motherfucker.
I'm gonna pull out the manager voice.
It was me all
Don't make me. Do you want me to write you out?
The killer in the house was...
Do you want me to write you up for eviscerating me?
It's not the first time. Well, not eviscerating, but...
Anyway, yeah, it looks like Art decided to join us for a little hangout sesh. Hey, buddy, how's it going? We should do an interview with Art. Art, tell us about your childhood. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he doesn't usually talk. So, with all of the new bits for Art in All Hallows Eve, it does seem to play out like a pitch for this villain to get his own feature film, which I agree. I think it was, and I think it was a good one. At this point, it was increasingly clear that Art was ready for the next step, whatever that would look like. So their next note here, if you have an excellent idea for a movie, but not the funds to make it happen, a short film is a great way to get eyeballs on it. Leone really saw something special in Art, and he kept pushing him to get a bigger spotlight, even if it would take a while for the fruit of his labor to come to fruition.
Brother.
I know, right? So when it came time for Leone to make the feature film he initially wanted, God damn, I'm drinking way too much soda today. Holy fuck. I haven't burped in a couple episodes like this. I did had some Dr. Pepper, bro. Anyway, so when it came time for Leone to make the feature film he initially wanted, he ultimately settled on an Indiegogo campaign to get it funded. What the fuck are you doing over there?
I dropped my mic. I was picking it up.
Oh, I thought you were like opening a package of some like plastic. It was like...
No, it's. I was adjusting and I dropped it.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Sorry.
Gotcha. No, it's okay. No worries.
I
all
can't
right,
make that noise to somebody else. Something else if you want me to.
Okay, let's go. So, while talking with Dread Central again, Leone pays considerable tribute to producer Phil Falcone, whose generous donation pushed Terrifier over the hump needed to make the film happen. Bless one Phil Falcone. So this is a quote from Damien. I was just going through my emails and sending the Indiegogo link to everybody and asking them to spread the word. He emailed me back, this is Phil, and he's like, what are you trying to raise? I told him a very little amount of money, and he's like, hey, I'll just put it up. Make me a producer. That's what he wanted. So he wanted to be a producer. So Damien says he's responsible for it. He came in and saved the day because we didn't make the Indiegogo campaign happen.
That's so awesome.
So if he didn't come in, we never would have made the movie. So,
Another win for
big
cinema.
kudos to one Phil Falcone. You're the man. All right. After 3 years since his last appearance, Art was finally the star of his own feature film with Terrifier. Terrifier builds upon the foundation of the 2011 short while injecting some other little flourishes to keep things interesting, namely the ferocious nature of the hacksaw scene. You can say many things about it, but the one thing you cannot say is that it holds back. It is a relentless and sleazy gore spectacle that gets off on how much it can make the audience squirm, for better or worse. Some notes from me in this section. Personally, and I've said this to you multiple times, I found the original Art the Clown to be much more terrifying than David Howard Thornton's character of Art the Clown. But I will say, in Terrifier 1, the feature film, David Howard Thornton's continuous chase, he was always chasing, it felt like, once you got into like the thick of the plot, really made my anxiety go through the roof. But just looking at the two different arts, the first art was played by Mike Gianelli. He, to me, had less smile, more intensity in his eyes, and he made me feel much more anxious.
I think even
I don't
though
know.
he's like more serious than that, well, not serious, but like not as like over the top as he is in the next two.
Yeah.
I think I like David. I like his better.
You like David Howard Thornton's better.
Yeah.
I do too. When
It
I
makes
say
it even more disturbing when someone's like laughing at someone like being like horribly killed.
No, for sure. No, I think for me, just the look of Mike Gianelli, he's a little stockier. They didn't put the crooked nose on him, and he never smiles genuinely. So in Terrifier 2 specifically, Art smiles like genuinely when he's playing like patty cake with the little dead girl. And to me, that eases the tension a bit of the movie, and it makes me kind of see him more as a character that I kind of like almost. Now, he does just insanity 5 seconds later when he shoves the broken like mop handle through the guy's head. That's intense, but like at the same time, I feel a little more like, oh, you know, when David Howard Thornton is doing that kind of stuff. Mike Gianelli didn't do anything like that, and I don't know that he had a chance to do so. But there's a scene in the Terrifier short, which was included in All Hallows Eve, near the end of the chase, where Mike Gianelli's Art starts to dig his way up through the ground into the shed that she's hiding in. And that got me. I was like, oh, God, like that's just terrifying to me for some reason. So Yeah, that's my reasoning. But I do like David Howard Thornton as Art more than I liked Mike Gianelli's performance as Art. Although, just to put it out there, the picture. So in the Alien section of All Hallows Eve, the picture, the painting that John, the boyfriend, painted, and the tarp gets pulled off of, that is the most, and that's the cover for All Hallows Eve. It is the most terrifying picture of Art to me for some reason. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, okay. All right, so let's move on here. So, all right, this again, I had to put quotations around this because this is from the article that I have quoted earlier. But they say most of its performances leave a lot to be desired, unfortunately. And this is about Terrifier, the feature film. They are not characters so much as meat sacks that Art can flay to his heart's content. He's not wrong, but I do think that Tara Hayes did a great job of getting me to connect with her on like a visceral level of, oh God, I hope she survives, because she was fighting. And I think that this is actually, I mean, and it's displayed in the Terrifier short film as well, when Art shoots the guy driving his car that's helping the girl get away. When Art is done playing around, he is just the most vicious, like, killer character. He will shoot you right in the head. So I was really, really sad when Tara got shot. How did you feel about that?
I thought when she got shot, it was really brutal.
Right? Like even though it was like a quick...
The way it was shot, like, some movies, they play them out, they're like rolling around, they're like screaming. Her, it's just she got shot in the face, and then that's it.
Right.
She's like gasping, and he like shoots again.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was the most brutal part, that they show her suffering, and then they cut back to him, and he just, boom, shoots her again. Like, brutal, man, brutal. Yeah, so, the homeless cat lady with the baby that's not real, I don't know, that caught me off guard, but it was like, the part where she was like, have you never felt a mother's love, and then like touched his arm and stuff, I was like, well, she's dead for sure. But anyway, yeah, so to continue with the article, if slasher villains were holding auditions to see whose kill would land them in a spot among the most sinister, then Art practically gets the golden buzzer with an extremely gruesome sequence that features him hacksawing a naked woman upside down from groin to brain. We already talked about that. It's a brutally slow death that cements Art as a formidable slasher who revels in his work, in addition to showing how Leone's practical effects can make you physically uncomfortable. Love it or hate it, you'll never forget the face of the clown that did it. And just a side note, that actually was a form of torture in the Middle Ages. And apparently you would stay alive longer for the torture because your brain was below your heart, so the blood would still go to your brain, because human beings are sick creatures. Anyway, continuing. It's difficult to think of anyone but David Howard Thornton under the clown makeup, but prior to the Terrifier feature film, all of Art's previous incarnations were played by Mike Gianelli. It's through his performance that the character It's through his performance that the character's deviously jaunty disposition was born before Thornton took it a step further. Thornton's Art is what you get when you blend the body language of Charlie Chaplin and the mischievous nature of Bugs Bunny, with both excited to see you mangled beyond belief. In a 2018 interview with Rue Morgue, the actor revealed that he prepared for the role by studying Gianelli's performances to match the actor's energy while bringing his own mischievous essence to the sadistic character. Quote, he said, I then basically blended my previous experience with physical comedy and clowning with my deep knowledge and appreciation of great physical actors and horror legends like Robert Englund, and added them to what Mike had already accomplished to create this murderous frappe. Is it frappe? Is that
Frappe?
Frappe?
I don't know. I worked in Starbucks for like 2 months last year, so I don't remember.
Right? I don't know. I feel like this murderous frappe of fiendishness that is Art. In my head, Art is like the love child of Harpo Marx and Freddy Krueger. I love
100%.
playing him. Right? For sure. I think you said that before we even talked about this article, right?
No, I said it during the recording. I said this is the same thing I just said now. I agree.
Oh,
100%
right,
about it,
yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he definitely does seem like that. Yeah, I love his performances. He really did take the character to the next level. And that's where I think, like, what I was saying earlier, like, I found Mike Gianelli's art to be more terrifying to me than David Howard Thornton. I think it's because David Howard Thornton has turned Art into something that I can both love and hate, which is, I think, the mark of a great actor and a great character actor, for sure. So, okay, so watching Thornton in white makeup, it's obviously he's an actor having the time of his life doing some of the most depraved things imaginable to the human body. At first glance, Art may appear to be just another killer clown, the likes of Pennywise from It, but Leone specifically created the character as an antithesis to Maine's favorite sewer dweller. The All Hallows Eve filmmaker has a deep admiration for the exploitation sensibilities of 70s grindhouse movies and wanted Art to reflect that. It did feel
especially
like that.
with the Ninth Circle, the way it's shot.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Like the burning of like the film, and it looked like an old movie.
Yeah. No, definitely. Okay, so let's see here. The killer clown in Terrifier may have hints of the supernatural, but his characterization is more human-like than the ancient monster in It. Art resembles an authentic serial killer with a penchant for the unflinching brutality. As Leone told Dread Central in 2018, Art was constructed out of a necessity to show audiences a killer clown unlike anything they'd seen before. Quote, I felt like there was a void with clowns that I hadn't quite seen done in the way I felt like I could execute one. Art the Clown kind of came out of all that and whatever I felt was missing with clowns. At that time, the original Pennywise was the only clown on the scene, and he wasn't even really a slasher. Now, you mentioned a few clowns that could have taken this role.
I have a couple of like clown movies that like happen that are like really good. Like, well, it's not like that, but there's a couple. One of them is it's another slasher movie. It involves a clown. It's called The 100 Tears. It's by the effects artist Marcus Koch. He directed it and did the effects for it. It's about a clown committing murders. His name is Gertie, and he's exacting revenge on people who like condemned him. And the gore in it is outstandingly brutal.
Okay.
Just because it's Marcus Koch and he's like one of the best effects artists in horror, I think. The budget was only $75,000.
Wow. Okay, so he did a lot with a little.
Yeah, and then the other one was an Irish movie called Stitches from 2012. It was a horror comedy one where a killer clown dies at a kid's birthday party, and he comes back years later to kill those kids.
Oh, okay.
So like every time he's
gotcha.
killing them, it's like almost like The Mask level of like hilarious kind of like nonsense while he's killing them. Like one girl gets stabbed by a umbrella, and like she inflates.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
No, another guy, he gets inflated and his head explodes.
Nice. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. But
I'm
there's
getting,
also
like, Leprechaun vibes.
another one where a guy finds a costume for his son's birthday party. It's called Clown, and it becomes like his skin.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that actually.
Yeah, Eli Roth produced it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the director of that ended up doing the last couple Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, lately Disney's been hiring a lot of horror directors.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Gotta love that, man. Right? Yeah. Gotta love
Sorry
it.
to
You know
get
what? Actually, you know what I just saw today? As a side note, Disney in 2024 or 2025 is going to put out a live action Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That's gonna be terrible.
What are your thoughts on that?
I just don't want anything Disney anymore. I don't want to hear about anything like Star Wars or Marvel. Like, not even because like what the weirdos on the internet are saying. It's just like,
Yeah.
the weirdos on the internet have made me not want to care about it anymore because they're always complaining about
Right.
stupid things like women and minority people being in cinema, which they've always been in.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry that you're racist, but like, what the fuck?
Right, for sure. Well, I mean, the reason I was bringing it up and the reason that it made me laugh today is because I'm assuming they're going to have to either do some intense digital or intense practical effects to get Quasimodo to look like Quasimodo.
And not like an ableist thing of like a person.
Right. To not be absolutely
Can they even
terrifying to children.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
You know, there's a good one from the Spanish movie like that, The Hunchback of the Morgue.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
I think I gave it to you. I'm not too sure. It's
I
Paul
don't remember
Naschy.
that
It's
one.
a 70s one.
Okay. I'll check it out.
They sent a
I
t-shirt
don't.
of it.
I don't know if I have that one in my collection, but if so, I'll watch it. All right. Well, let's wrap up here, at least with the notes on art, before we kind of talk about our next section.
I'm so excited to talk about the kills.
I know, right?
Especially Terrifier too, because both of her friends who get killed, like, they're the most gruesome things I've ever seen.
Dude, honestly, we'll get there because we have to talk about the poor boyfriend, but anyway. All right, so like Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger.
Oh, his penis?
God damn it, Mikey. Yes, his penis. Okay, like Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Leatherface before him, Art the Clown is well on his way to becoming one of the most memorable screen slashers. He already is.
Yeah.
Ask Twitter. The moment Thornton displays his menacing grimace, you know that you're in the presence of a gleefully sadistic monster who's already planning 3 steps ahead on how he's going to mangle you. Just like he mangled me here in the VHS Doom rental store, where I'm profusely bleeding from my midsection and holding in my intestines. Thanks, Art. Also, I think I saw him go into the bathroom, so you might have to go check that out.
He told me to
okay?
go out for a few minutes and have a smoke break.
No, he didn't tell you shit because he doesn't talk.
He passes me notes.
Right. Okay.
Really vulgar
yeah,
notes.
He writes. he does text though from the movies. He does text. So if you're getting texts from him, I believe it.
I have a text that's right here.
Dude. All right.
It says,
so,
let me see. Wait, hold on. Don't come in today. I am going to brutally eviscerate Dylan. But you're fine, though. High five.
You know what's weird? I just had this little pile of ash appear on the counter.
They're coming for you, dude.
And it looks like there's a little note in it.
Oh no.
Here, let me get it.
You Jadis is coming.
It says, let me open it up. It says,
You won't let me go to it. What the hell?
It says here, Mikey, Jimmy told me I'm not allowed to haunt Dylan anymore, so you're in for it, motherfucker. Signed, Gabby Man.
Wait, where's this?
Weird. Well, I'd keep an eye, make sure you got eyes in the back of your head there, old walrus penis. Okay, so
My
let's
co-host
continue.
is threatening me live on air.
No, that was Scabby Man. I mean, you can't win with Scabby Man, but Jimmy gave me a free pass. Shout out to old God damn it. Shout out to old Jimmy Pukes. You know,
At Dab Jimmy on Twitter.
Dab Jimmy. Super excited that you guys put out your newest episode of the Dab of Death podcast. And, you know, after watching Eating Raoul, I was once again reminded of why I can never again eat pulled pork. But you guys should go check that out.
You said chili, I ruined bacon.
Yeah.
Pulled pork,
chili,
brisket,
bacon, yep, pulled pork, brisket,
pot roast, which I had the next day after that episode.
And sent me a picture of because you're
It was
sick
good!
fuck.
I'm so happy we have that crock pot now. Oh my god.
But I did, Jimmy, if you're listening to this, I did send Mikey a picture of a bottle of horseradish.
He doesn't like it. I love it.
I know. I mean, you can't beat a good pulled pork or pulled human sandwich with
or steak
horseradish,
sandwich,
I guess.
with that.
Oh my fucking god. Yeah, so anyway,
nice
definitely go check out the newest episode of A Dab of Death. But please make sure you don't eat before you do, or do because you're an adult and you can do what you want, but you might throw up.
We're doing some research into some new true crime cases and some creepypastas too.
Nice. I'm excited for that.
I think we're gonna do another Vomit Radio where we do copy pasta stuff.
Oh,
Not
yeah, I
copy
think I heard you guys
creepypasta,
talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, well, let's move on into the next section so we can get through this here. So let's talk kills. So, Mikey, what were some of your favorite moments of brutality from Art the Clown?
Let me bring up my notes. So when Ellie gets murdered, her eye is sliced in half, scalp is cut off, that kind of thing.
Right away. Yeah, he just... Poor Allie, yeah.
He breaks her arm and then, like, rips it like I don't even know, like he's like a butcher or something. Like, he just, like,
He
pulls
bends
off.
it like it's a chicken wing.
Yeah, I wanted to say it, like, nicely. Like, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
He, like, bent it and, like, ripped it off.
Yeah, he just ripped it off like
And then
it
he
was
rips
like
her
a chicken
face
wing.
off.
That was upsetting, yes.
Hacks her to
All of it was.
hacks her to death. Like, while he's, like, slicing her, he's pouring bleach and salt in her to her wounds.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then the mother comes in and she's on the bed and, like, you think she's dead, and she starts gasping.
Bro, that messed me up. When she sat up and the mom just started screaming, and then, I mean, okay, but I am going to say it was absolutely hilarious when Art opened the door and served candy out of her decapitated head.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that was funny.
That was really funny. It was comic relief. Yeah, that was the most brutal kill, I think.
No, I think it's tied with their other friend, Brooke.
Okay.
When her face gets melted, she's stabbed a bunch of times, and then her leg almost gets, like, cut off. And then he, like, stabs her chest open and, like, rips out her heart and eats it.
Yeah. And you know what? That was the bathroom scene
Yes.
for this movie. So when he kills her, they're in the bathroom at the carnival.
Wasn't she like,
and
what the fuck?
Yeah, he has smeared his shit all over the entire bathroom. And, like, he wrote, like, Art was here and stuff. So, yeah, that was his bathroom scene there. But, I mean, there was nobody there to clean it up, unfortunately. So, I'm just going to say before that, so her and her boyfriend are in the car.
Oh, God.
And the boyfriend gets out to take a piss, and Art literally just stabs him in the dick and cuts it off.
Yeah.
Like, stabs him like 80 times in the dick. That was really hard to watch.
And he pulls his testicle out, too.
Yes. Yeah, that was extremely hard to watch.
Didn't he, like, throw it at her?
I think he might have. I think he threw her his penis, I think.
No, I think
Yeah.
it was, like, oh, God, I don't even want to say it. Like,
Do you want to get into specifics?
it's sending chills down my spine. I can't even say it.
The Terrifier. Terrifying Mikey, even when we're not watching.
There's another one.
Yeah, that one was wild.
Also, when Tara's mom gets killed. With a
The shotgun?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
Crazy
that's just
effect.
another commentary on how Art is just like, brutal and not, he'll just go to whatever lengths necessary. Dude, when he was chewing on the little brother's fingers, I almost threw up.
Yep. I was there,
Yeah.
too.
And that wasn't even a kill. Yeah. Do you have any others you had notes on?
The broken beer bottle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the
Ricky.
poor shopkeeper.
The guy's name's Ricky.
That was rough. Although it was really funny when Art was holding his head and the little boy was looking into the store.
Yeah, and they played it off like it was,
smiling.
like it was just like what's it called? One of those, like, light up things.
Brutality. Yeah, I think in Terrifier 1 for me, when he stomped out the pest control guy at the end, that was intense. Obviously, the hacksaw murder was intense. But the stab, hack and slash kind of deal with the other pest control, that was pretty brutal too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think what I felt like was from 1 to 2, I feel like the short film Terrifier, the chase feeling was intense, right? The whole thing was like a chase. Terrifier 1, most of it was a chase, there was a lot of jump scares. By Terrifier 2, there were not. There was just brutality. Yes, he did chase them at the carnival, but not to the extent that he chased people around that empty building in Terrifier 1, I think. But the brutality level turned up like tenfold, Man, when they're at like Art the Clown's like restaurant kind of deal, and there's like razors and bugs in
the Art Krispies
cereal box. Oh my god.
Art Krispies. I want a shirt like that of that box.
Right? That would be great. That's a great shirt. So yeah. Any other notes? Any other notes on that?
I think he's killed like 23 people so far.
Okay, that's a good
No,
note.
I think it's more. I think it's more. Because like remember he like shot all those people in a dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
The possum thing was nasty, and I felt bad for her brother.
Yeah. I felt bad that everybody thought the brother was a liar the whole time. That was kind of sad. But you know what? He kept his sister going, so that's a good thing.
The actor who played the brother, he's on YouTube as the Little Punk People, and
you mentioned that.
He interviews like bands and stuff.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you mentioned that. I did not know that.
A while ago, like when he was younger, I used to watch this thing where he and his dad would interview people.
Okay. Yeah, so the little brother is... Let me get back to my cast notes here. So the little brother is played by Elliot Fulham, and Sienna is played by Lauren Lavera. I did see Elliot Fulham post on Twitter the other day, happy birthday to my big sister. I guess it was Lauren Lavera or Sienna's birthday. But they're both going to be in Terrifier 3, yes. So very cool stuff. And then maybe they'll bring back Chris Jericho.
Oh my god, that was fucking funny as hell.
Yeah. He's in there eating like zombie punch or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like talking about it. It's so funny.
Dude, yeah.
He's a big horror nerd.
That's great. Yeah, it was fun to see him. But let's just talk about, I know this is not a kill or like a murder, but it is when the post-credit scenes, I really don't want to give anything away.
We can just say it. I mean, it's like it's not ruining it. I don't know.
You know what? We'll do a disclaimer. If you haven't watched these movies, specifically if you haven't watched Terrifier 2, there's an after-credit scene. So you get 2 seconds right now to turn this off or skip past it if you don't want to hear it. 1, 2, tie my shoe. Is it buckle my shoe? 1, 2, buckle my shoe?
Yeah, it's buckle my shoe.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, you got 2 seconds. All right. So in the post-credits, in the post-credit scene when it's I don't want to say Tara, Vicky. When Vicky is being shown in the mental hospital, it's a nurse talking about how Vicky's doing so well. Well, Vicky starts losing her mind in her cell area, and she's bleeding profusely from her midsection.
She's pregnant too.
Like she's pregnant, yeah, and she's writing on the wall, Vicky loves Art, and then she gives birth to Art's head. Only his head,
yeah.
Because he got decapitated by Sienna. Mind you, in that decapitation scene, it was actually one of my favorite parts of the whole movie when he just turns his neck and smiles real fast, like that was awesome. And then she decapitated him. But yeah, Vicky also at this time has glowing yellow eyes and gives birth to Art.
She looked like the mask from the cult in Ninth Circle.
Yeah, right, exactly. She did look like the mask from the Ninth Circle. She had glowing eyes like Art in the Ninth Circle, and glowing eyes like the the ghost child
who shits herself
in Terrifier 2.
Laundromat.
That was an insane amount of shit.
It was like shit and blood. It was scary.
Right? Disgusting. But anyway, okay, cool. Any other like final like brutality notes you got?
Well, I already said the possum thing was disgusting, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was fucked up. Those kids played the joke on that little girl, and they're like, "Oh, come here! Those like cute animals gave birth," and it's just like a rotten corpse, and they're just like opening it and showing her.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
Oh god, is it Terrifier or All Hallows Eve when the guy gets shot in the head with the pistol?
In the car?
Yeah.
That's All Hallows Eve.
Okay. That really bothered me too.
Yeah, that did. It showed just the brutality that is Art.
It was the same it was the same kind of thing as when Tara got shot in the face.
Yeah, and honestly, Terrifier short film, when that poor woman wakes up after her car crash,
and she has no limbs.
that, and she has like a bunch of slurs carved in her body. That is an intense. That's an intense scene too. That's way up there for me. So, I think if I had to rank brutality, I'd probably rank like the hacksaw scene 1. I'd probably rank Allie 2.
What about Brooke second or third?
I'd probably do Brooke third, and then I'd probably do the lady from the short film. I don't remember her name as fourth.
What about
like
the medical examiner though?
The head. Yeah, the head stuff. Like it doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me quite as much.
Really, like getting like his head ripped open? Jesus.
Nah, not as much. I don't know why.
It's like mangled face is like I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
It's just his effects work is so good.
Yes, his effects work is really good. He's up there. I feel like if I had to rank like effects artists, we should do one episode like that. I'm not going to do that right now.
Because I mentioned another one who Marcus Koch, he directed the American Guinea Pig movie, the first one.
Yep.
And that one's like pretty much like a guy like doing like a living autopsy on somebody, and it looks real.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we could do a whole episode on effects artists. I think you might have that as a show.
I think I do,
anyway.
or I think it's either that or CGI versus practical.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's get into the next section here. Like I said earlier, this is going to be like notes of the development, but from the short to the features, plot and character developments, and then my personal opinions and possibly my personal fan theories. So, for me, several of the same kill tactics were used between the shorts and Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2. Most notably, the one that stuck out in my head, the use of the gun, obviously, but also the use of a plastic piece of cellophane to try to smother someone or cause them to suffocate was used in both the Terrifier short and Terrifier 1. Now, it is a really good effect because it's simple, easy to use, and it shows you can really pull it tight on somebody's face and get the panic in their eyes, right? Like that it's a good effect. But in both the short and in Terrifier 1, the victim was able to open their mouth and poke a hole in the plastic and get free. Right, so I didn't like that he used that twice. But again, he was presenting his work on a much bigger stage for Terrifier than he was for All Hallows Eve or the short film. So, it is what it is. The use of the gun got me, though, because it just shows the brutality of Art. We already talked about Katie McGuire, the babysitter, playing both the babysitter and Monica Brown, and that she will probably be in Terrifier 3 because it specifically said she's not dead. I already talked about why Art from the earlier films bothered me more, heavier set, more sinister, he's bulkier. He's not afraid to kill children early on. He hasn't killed any children.
He tried to kill, what is his name, John, the brother?
That's the thing. I don't know that he actually tried to kill him. He tried to wake him up.
Yeah,
and I think once he was awake,
Ninetales too.
Yeah, well, yes, but he didn't do a fatality final kill. You know what I mean?
You're calling them fatalities. I really do want him in Mortal Kombat.
I know. I'm gonna keep calling them fatalities and brutalities. That's gonna just
Especially
be my new language.
His kill, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the original incarnations of Art was not afraid to just brutally chop up and murder children. And maybe we'll see that in T3, or I'm going to start calling him T3. Fuck, Terminator. No, I'm kidding.
The notes you had it as T2 and T1.
Yeah, T1 and T2. It's easier than typing out Terrifier.
I always
anyway,
miss the I in the middle of it.
What's that?
There's two I's in the name, and I forget one of them every time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we talked about the glowing eyes. Art in the Ninth Circle had glowing eyes. The little girl in Terrifier 2 and Victoria in Terrifier 2. So my question is, do Art's victims become possessed? Or is this the demon from the Ninth Circle?
I think, I've been thinking about it since we talked about it the other day when we had the problems with recording. I think it might be he takes their souls.
Maybe.
It's
yeah,
his army.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, Art. Do you mean Art or the demon / devil?
Terrifier, or not Terrifier. I mean Art.
Yeah, I think Art might be a soul collector, right? Maybe he carries souls in his bag.
Because like
I don't know.
They talk about that little girl being murdered,
Right.
And like by him, and like
Right.
she's with him the whole time, pretty much.
Right. And Vicky Hayes didn't even have to be fully murdered, and she was still used as a pawn by Art. So maybe he does collect souls. Like, I don't know. It's a good theory. There is just a side note. There's an ode to the Ninth Circle in the Terrifier 2 ending scenes where they're in like a little like dark chapel, and all of those characters are in hoods. Like they're like little mannequins, but a lot of those mannequins look like the characters from the Ninth Circle. So I like that little
And then when
note
she
there.
has the sword and she jumps out of the water, so badass.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm about to drop it here. This is my fan theory. So, in All Hallows Eve, in the second short film with the alien, there is an artist named John. And John and his girlfriend have moved out to the country. John has been getting visions and has painted a painting of Art the Clown, but has it covered up. You don't see it till the very end of that scene when the cover gets ripped off as the poor woman's getting carried out of the house. Well, Caroline, that's the woman who got stolen from the house, or abducted, by the alien. I like to think that maybe, because in Terrifier 2, the father who is dead was also an artist. Maybe John from All Hallows Eve, the alien, segment, is the father from Terrifier 2. He had a mistress named Caroline who lived out of the city, and when Caroline was abducted by an alien and, assumedly killed, he lost his mind while living with his family in the city, caused him to go insane, and he began to see art and draw all these demons and all these like dark things, and then he killed himself, essentially ran into a pole,
unveiling
burnt
of the
up.
picture of Art is hilarious. I just want to say
Right. So my fan theory, now I've heard fan theories that Art is actually Sienna's father. I don't think that that's accurate, and if they go that way, cool, whatever. That's Leone's story. He can do whatever he wants, but I would see a cool tie-in between John in the alien segment of All Hallows Eve and the father in Terrifier 2, Sienna's father. That would be a cool little tie-in for the universe for me. So anyway, that's my fan theory. Okay, so
you know what, the carving into the girl in the end of All Hallows Eve, or not end, but like end of that segment, it reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street when he writes on the person's chest, "Come get him, bitch." I thought of that when I was watching it, and I just reminded myself when I saw it on Twitter before.
Yeah, you know what I think I said in our last session when we were recording, I felt like as far as like when it comes to practical effects, the Cat o' Nine Tails was actually a really clever weapon.
Brutal.
Because I think it gives you time to like make quick cuts.
Yeah, it's like multiple scalpels and like knives.
Right, like it's a cool thing, but if you think about the practicality of filming that, you swing it once and a cut shows up. So you swing it, you cut. You put the makeup on, you come back, you say action, you swing it again, you have to cut, and you have to put on another cut. You know what I mean?
It's
You're
so
just
interesting
building.
because like he's a director, so he's like directing the movie and doing the makeup effects at the same time.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a really cool way to think about how you would have to direct while doing the effects. You know what I mean?
What did you think of it when you were directing that little scene for Brava? And we were also doing the effects at the same time.
I had a lot of fun, man. I thought it was, but I also acted in that one.
So did I. I mean, that's why I couldn't really think because I was the one the effect was happening to.
Yeah, you have to plan things out really well based on the effects. I think that's maybe the different. That's a big difference between like directing some or the other sort of film, like a comedy or, maybe a love story. When you're directing a horror where things have to get progressively worse and in an attack scene, I think you have to plan your shots and your cuts based on what the next effect has to be on your actor. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Music to make the music more unsettling too.
Right, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, anyway, so let's see here. I said in my note, by Terrifier 2, Art was very endearing to me. His scene in the laundromat with the little girl where he's playing patty cake, and then when they're playing with the dead possum in the school, and then specifically the scene where he's trying on sunglasses in the costume shop. I love that so much. I was like, oh, yeah, you go, bro. Like, I really liked Art in those scenes. Now, like I said earlier, I'm glad that they created the character of Sienna as a stronger
Final girl?
female roles that they developed more. Because if they put that Art up against like Tara Hayes' character with that little of development, I would have liked Art way more than I liked, the technical protagonist.
What did you think of the dream sequence?
Okay. This is just coming from someone who's edited, and not professionally, but someone who does editing for work. I guess I do it professionally, I guess. But for me, some things ran too long. I think that the runtime, there was some criticism from sources stating that Terrifier 2 just went on too long.
I don't feel
and
like
I think
it did, though. It didn't feel drawn out, though. I don't know.
They could have in a much quicker way gotten through the dream sequence. That was a very long scene that could have been maybe 5 minutes shorter. It felt a little lengthy, but what's that?
What was your favorite kill from it? Sorry. There was a delay.
When he set the guitar player on fire and she just kept playing her guitar.
I thought it was funny. Yeah, sorry, there was a delay before. I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. You're fine. No worries. Yeah. What was your favorite from that scene?
Honestly, the same thing. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, with that, like I said, Art
shooting was ridiculous.
Yeah, when he just started shooting everybody with the Tommy gun, yeah that was wild. But yeah, I think that T2, Terrifier 2, I think that Terrifier 2 made Art as likable for me as Sienna was, which is a balance that I'm interested to see if Damien Leone continues with.
It made you
because
care
people,
about her.
What?
It made you care about the character.
It made you care about Sienna.
Yeah.
But because of all the development and all the time I'd spent with Art, when he was playing patty cake with that little girl, I'm like, oh, I feel a connection to Art as well, which I don't know, maybe
also,
that makes me crazy.
Too.
But
where he's really super funny, and then
yeah, he's like the ultimate form of bipolar almost. Like he goes from super happy, smiling, having a great time to out of nowhere.
It reminds me of Freddy a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, but he does it without talking, which I love.
Which is even better.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so my next question kind of was, I wonder where Leone's going with the religious themes. He definitely has the demon side for Art and the dead girl and Vicky Hayes, but specifically my question is, who brought Sienna back to life? What's the bigger story at play? Oh, in that little pool when she was in the tank and that tentacle monster was holding her down, that was an interesting effect.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. But anyway, who set her free? Who brought her back? Who set the sword on fire?
That was so awesome. Even when the wings caught on fire at first, when the mother comes in. Can I just say the mother didn't have to be mean to them like that?
She didn't. She didn't have to hit her kid.
No. Or think he was that bad over nothing.
No, definitely not.
The funniest thing is, I'm joking when I say this. I was offended because he likes true crime and horror stuff, and they're saying that he's a serial killer.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that was sad, but maybe that's Leone's personal experience in some way or another. I don't know.
Her death was so crazy.
It was wild. It was
The effect
extremely
for the head,
fast,
yeah.
but wow.
I didn't
yeah.
think he
and
was
then,
gonna shoot her.
bro, when he had her propped up at the dinner table when the son came home,
yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Talk about big T trauma. Okay. And then my very last question before I turn it over to you for any notes you might have for finals. My question is, can Leone get any more gruesome or original with his kills?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? What I feel like he's touched on a lot, and I know there's a lot more to go. Just throwing it out there, Damien Leone, if you listen to this, if you throw in some sort of like Achilles cut scene, kind of like in Hostel, I'll just pass out immediately. So just throwing that out there.
Or if you do more stuff with eyes, that'll freak me out too.
Oh God, yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's it. What are your final notes, Mike?
I really love the effects work on it. I loved the scene that terrified me the most was when Allie gets murdered, and like especially the arm and way like it looked like he was like pulling it out, with like tendons coming out of it. Ugh.
I hate that you just said tendons. I almost vomited.
When I said tendons, I stretched my arm for a second and it cracked.
Oh God.
But yeah, the way he like spun it around and ripped it off. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say, so because we started this last episode, I'm going to rate all three and then you can do the same. We're giving them, you have a chance of 5 tapes. So maybe it's a 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5. Who knows? Yeah, I like it too. So we'll go for each one. For All Hallows Eve, I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5 tapes. I think that the second short film with the alien was underdeveloped unless they tie that in somehow in Terrifier 3, and then I'll change my rating.
What, you think aliens are in there too now?
No. I mean, maybe, but I think if they can tie in that story of John the Painter to the father or something.
What if it's art versus aliens?
Bro, I love it. Let's go.
Like gray aliens, he's just like slaughtering them.
Just like really cheap aliens.
It's like X-Files, like gray aliens.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Or Bibble from Chappelle Show.
Yeah. Yes, or Alf. Who knows? Anyway, for Terrifier 1, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 tapes. I think that it was brutal. It was quick, and that's not a bad thing. Yes, there are notes from critics that say that the characters were underdeveloped, but I think that Damien Leone developed those characters very quickly, and I felt like I had a very good sense of who they were, despite the shorter runtime, and I think that it was just brutality throughout, and I'm really, really happy that it's going back to theaters. And I think people are just going to love it when it does. For Terrifier 2, I'm going to give that one I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 tapes.
What?
And the only reason that it gets less than Terrifier 1 is that I think I probably agree that some parts were a little too drawn out. I think there are a couple notes for me on runtime. I think that they didn't necessarily need as long of a dream sequence to develop that part of Sienna's character. I don't think they needed quite as long of a sequence of her at the rave to develop her character. I did like that they used that time for her to tell her mom that she loved her. But I think that those two things, if they had cut down slightly, I would have given it 5 out of 5. You can hate me if you want.
I don't hate you.
I know.
Our fans will just freak out and leave.
That's fine. No, don't leave. But that's what I think, so get over it. Mikey, what do you rate these 3?
I don't know. I just like them. I don't know.
Come
it's
on,
hard.
you gotta rate them.
It's hard. I don't know.
It doesn't matter if it's hard.
My
You just
favorite
gotta
out
do
of
it.
3, I guess, is 2.
Okay. So 5 out of 5 tapes for 2?
Yeah, I would guess like
Okay.
5 for Terrifier, like Fire also like 5 for that too, but 4.
Okay.
4 for All Hallows Eve because like I feel like it could have been a little bit better.
Okay, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, it was slightly underdeveloped, for sure.
It's
on
mostly the
some
alien
parts.
thing. I didn't understand it.
Right, that's the same thing I said. The same. It was out of left field almost.
It kind of felt like it kind of slipped off at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? If he turns it around somewhere in Terrifier 3, and he's like, "Haha, guess what? The alien was actually Art, and he was just fucking with her," that would be hilarious. Like, I'd change my whole rating based on a new movie, But anyway, yeah, that's good. Yeah, we don't have to agree on the rating, so
no,
I think
it's fine.
Movies
are subjective. It's fine.
They are. So anyway, yeah, that brings us to a close. So
I would like to. I think a new segment I want to do, where I announce the next episode.
Oh, I like that. Okay, well, let's get them checked out first before we do that segment. So everybody step up. What are the 5 movies we're sending them home with? Obviously, we have 3 of them covered. Right?
Can I give? How many do you want me to give?
We're doing 5. So, this week we're giving away. You're going home with All Hallows Eve. You're going home with Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2. You have to watch those 3. No questions asked.
Okay, so for a 4th one, I have 2014's Clown.
Ooh, another
directed
clown.
by John Watts, produced by Eli Roth. And it's about it's a supernatural horror film where a father puts on a clown suit for his son's birthday, and it becomes part of him, and he tries to get it off the whole time. It's like a possession and like a metamorphosis in one.
Love that. Okay, cool. So that's 4, and then
the only way to stop it is to be dismembered.
Oh, geez Louise. Okay, love that. I think they're going to have a great time watching these 4. Now, are we sending a kids movie or?
I think we should as a cleanser.
Okay, gotcha. So what's a good cleanser?
Hold on, I have a list of ones right here.
Oh, you came prepared this week.
Yeah, I'm using my computer now, so
nice, good.
It's a lot better. Yeah. Okay, so one of my favorite movies from 2000. I saw this in theaters with either my grandpa or my uncle. Titan AE. Do you remember that one?
Ooh, Titan AE. Let me look it up. I don't remember it.
Gary Oldman, Matt Damon, Bill Pullman, John Leguizamo. Giant cast. Drew Barrymore's in it too.
Oh, yeah. Animated. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite Don Bluth movies. He also did Black Cauldron, the other one I said.
Right. Okay, cool. Okay, so 2000s Titan AE is going to be the kids movie.
I was 9 when it came out. Wow. That's crazy.
Okay, and from Google, it's a epic, thrilling, and futuristic movie. It's one of the best cartoons of my childhood. This is from Metacritic. I agree. I absolutely loved it back then, and I still love it now. So you guys are going to enjoy Titan AE.
I think this is like for everybody, like a family movie, I feel like.
Nice, man. Yeah, I think they're really going to love that. So, yeah, you guys got your 5 movies. Go ahead and grab your candy, grab some chocolates, grab your popcorn. You got a beverage? You got some sody pops? Step on up. I'm bleeding out here. All right. Y'all are good. But before you take off this week, we put up a new board on the wall, which is going to talk about the featured movie for next week. So, Mikey, do you want to talk to these customers before they take off about next week's movie?
Dario Argento's 1975 Deep Red, or in Italian, Profondo Rosso.
Bum, bum, bum.
So the little bit of description: a jazz pianist and a wisecracking journalist are pulled into a complex mystery after a former witness is brutally murdered in front of the pianist.
Hell yeah. Dario Argento. Classic.
This is one of my favorite gialli.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kills in it are really good. The music is by Goblin.
Nice, yeah.
Goblin's a band that mostly worked with Dario Argento. It's starring David Hemmings and Dario Argento's ex-girlfriend who passed away, Daria Nicolodi. She helped him write a lot of the other stuff that he's made.
Okay.
And a lot of other people. And I think so. This is his 4th Gialli.
Okay.
This is right before he did Suspiria and helped out with Martin in Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited for that one next week. We hope you guys enjoy the titles you got this week, but definitely, as you can see, you need to come back because we're going to have even more fun. I hope you guys enjoyed a more non-traditional episode today. I know it wasn't a specific movie title. We didn't go through a plot. But I feel like we did a really good deep dive into art and into old Damien Leone. And I hope, Damien, you listen to this and you like it. And if you do, give us a shout out maybe. Who knows? I don't know, whatever. But for those of you who are not Damien Leone, if you guys want...
I'm just kidding.
What?
I was kidding around. I said, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off.
If you're not Damien Leone, we don't care.
We don't care. That's the whole point of this episode is for him to listen to. Kidding. This episode's for our customers. Members only, motherfuckers. But yeah. So for those of you who aren't Damien Leone, please go give us a shout on our Twitter. It's at VHS Doom Pod. You can also check us out on Instagram or Facebook at VHS Doom Pod. And just so you guys all know, we just set up this week our TikTok. I put up a commercial for the store. So yeah, go give us a follow on our TikTok and every other social media that you want. So if you guys want to, you can send us an email at vhsdoom@gmail.com if you want us to read anything on air or you have any, qualms with how I rated Terrifier 2. You can yell at me.
Talk about how mean I am on Twitter.
Yeah, Mikey's not afraid to go to Twitter jail, so be careful confronting him there. And also be careful because he will body slam you through a table if you're not careful. So anyway.
Glass and barbed wire on it.
Yeah, sometimes he sets it on fire. So you'll learn all of that in the commercial when you go watch it. But we appreciate you guys coming in. We're going to close up shop now, so get the fuck out. Get out.
We want to go home. We have kids.
I got a kid I got to feed. All right, take it easy. Peace.
That's scarred into my brain. So if anybody doesn't know, we didn't talk about this story before. There was one time, multiple times actually, never mind, of the drains just overflowing in the restaurant, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. And it was like the most like disgusting, putrid, like black, like goo.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely disgusting.
And we had to use a shop vac to get it out and pour it outside.
When you say we, who do you mean?
Me.
You?
He was there for a second, and then he left me there to do it. I was training a kid when it happened.
Oh, you know what?
I was training a kid when it happened.
Yeah.
And the kid quit the next day.
I believe that. I mean,
because he kept saying,
dude,
I didn't start here to clean this up.
Well, I'm going to have to cut this out because we don't need to be talking about our old jobs. But so I'm going to send you a picture that's going to make you die a little bit. I just happened to see it online on Facebook. But anyway, yeah, so that store happened to be made as it was built to be a shoe store that was retrofitted into like a restaurant. So it didn't. It didn't.
What the fuck? I need to mute my mic. I'll be right back.
Okay. I love messing with Mikey. It's my favorite thing. Anyway,